Hello everyone and welcome to an adventure for the 2021 NorthStar Historical Bottle Digging Club and Association. Well, today is Saturday the 15th of May and I found these guys digging at 400 Maple. I won't tell you which town I drove to first, but it was the wrong one. But I found him now.
I'm giving an elbow rib poke to Mr. Youngblood there.
And
you'd be surprised how many towns have a Maple
they're
Street.
In the probing
Who knew?
process, looking for privies. They dug a couple holes earlier, and I've been told there's some evidence of that over here, so I'm going to go look and see what the guys found. But as Mark calls it, you'll get a rash. Oh, look, there's even a sign. It says, "Welcome Diggers." I love that. Oh. But Mark says you're gonna get a rash. Oh, but they're still cool. They're embossed, but they are new. New England rum. Oh, it's still got the federal law forbids sale logo, so that means, they're not like brand new.
Now, I know pre-1920 is much more exciting because that's a whole century old. But personally, I think anything before 1950 even, as long as it's embossed, it's beautiful.
Isn't that cute and quaint? Aw, this has early Minnesota written all over it. Or Wisconsin. We're very close to the border. I think we're on the Minnesota side though. Well, I guess it's meant to be that I went on the dig with the Historical Bottle Club today because the address, 400 Maple, ended up being directly across from this little place here in Marine on the St. Croix, and it is the exact place that almost exactly 2 years ago to the day, on Mother's Day of 2019, Mr. Quinlan had wanted to go for a Sunday drive. That time, he'd gotten a burst of energy and he had a really amazing day. And this was a place where we stopped to get beverages. And it's right across the street from where the dig is today.
Mr. Quinlan was a very dear friend and mentor teacher of mine that I met in 1989 when I student taught, and we worked together for a number of years. And I was with him right up until when he passed.
We came here to get beverages for our Sunday drive. And then we went to the St. Croix River over on the Taylor's Falls side, and that was where we had that amazing and special moment with Mark where he held each of our hands and thanked us, and had no idea that would be probably the last real conversation we had. 48 hours from then he went into his deeper sleep and then stayed there till he left us early that Friday morning, late Thursday night. And I haven't been here since. This is my first time back here in almost exactly 2 years. But it's a beautiful memory, a memory that I'll always have. And so grateful, so very grateful. So, the dig site is across the street over yonder. What a beautiful time of year, by the way. Look at all these purple and white blossoms over there. But what I've learned is that this general store, built in 1849, is actually the oldest general store in the state of Minnesota. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So I'm just going to take some photos here. Some postcards that they have up. Marine on St. Croix, Minnesota. That's kind of cool. It doesn't have the years on here, but street scene. Marine on St. Croix.
Yeah, you can get what you were saying. Okay, here's the grocery.
Here's a picture of the general store in 1925. Railroad station. Wow, very cool. Look at that. Marine Ferry.
Oh, well,
6th Street. They've got it decorated. Real cute in here. Doesn't look like they have the original ceilings anymore. The original woodwork on the floor. So that's kind of neat. First commercial sawmill in Minnesota was erected 300 feet east of here in 1838. The lumbering industry, which monopolized the minds and talents of men in the St. Croix Valley for 3/4 of a century, was born with the erection of this mill. Minnesota Historical Society, instituted 1849. Very, 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 very cool. Oh, that is neat. Love learning about the history of an area. So, I am wondering, they certainly must have had a privy back there, and certainly the owners probably lived upstairs. I'm wondering if they've ever had their place probed out. I can hear the water. Look at this. I love that sound. Oh, Marine Community Library. I don't know what this building was originally. With the tower like that, I was guessing maybe a church or school, or both. Water, look at that. Stunning. Stunning, stunning. Wonder if you dug around on the banks there, what you'd find. But there's people walking down there. Wonder if there's any bottles at the bottom there. Take some video of what it looks like here behind the general store. I'm guessing some of this was probably added on at some point. We're doing some revitalization here. But it'd be interesting to explore down the bank and walk the creek. I love old buildings. I feel like I'm inside of Laura Ingalls Wilder novel right here. Like something that looks like it's right out of Little House on the Prairie. Definitely around this time period, that's for sure. I think my lunch break is over. I better check up on the guys. Saturday, May 15th continued at a different site now. Just me and the guys here. Got John in the hole. And some pieces of broken pottery coming up, some broken milks coming up, things that Mark can't touch because he'll get a rash.
That's right.
Is this a vase line? Nope.
Yep.
Is it?
Or melons.
Okay.
You see on the neck, on the shoulder, it might say melons on the shoulder.
Got one thing in common.
It's all what?
Oh,
It's all broken.
Yeah.
it's all broken. Yeah, it looks like, but there's nobody even home there. What's that on the bottom?
It's a machine-made bottle. It's just a glass
enough.
maker.
Okay.
So they got 1810 or so.
Okay. That's a screw top. Another same thing, it looks like. Between Brian Mann and Mark Youngblood, there is 70 collective years of digging experience here, and I am always in awe and learning. Oh, chemist.
Oh,
Lysol.
there's somebody.
Oh, I saw.
Lysol.
This is Northland Milk Company.
I couldn't believe that They use Lysol as a douche.
What?
Yeah.
Dear Lord, the poor woman that had to endure that.
For what?
Jeez. Douching.
Sure, why not?
Lysol? That had to sting to high heaven. Ow, feel the burn.
That was they knew it would work.
They knew it was working. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I knew it was working. It's killing the germs. That and a whole lot of other things, but you know.
Tom could have injected in his arms too.
Yeah, Lysol. There we go. Look at that. Well, it's whole.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What can you tell me about her?
It's ugly.
Besides that.
It's machine made
Okay.
from New York.
Oh, New York. It says New York, though. It's a whole bottle that has New York on it.
Well,
Yeah.
But what year?
1910, 1915.
Okay.
was a lot of Mark Cross.
Yeah, it was.
And then we've got the good old Mrs. Stewart's. But it's still got some bluing inside. See, look at that. It's not obvious at all who is the newbie among us to the hobby, is it? Mark is on a mission to find a
What do you
specific
think,
type
Brian?
of local pharmacist.
thinking.
And I
Not
just get
thinking, just
excited
doing.
about most anything. I tell you what, though, that probe is a natural extension of Brian
Well, the
Mann's
gold is yet to
hand.
come.
I have never seen someone so
further down.
talented with
wanna
the
break
probe
that?
and knowing
Yeah, I'm gonna
where to find
out
things.
I'm gonna let my wife know that there's an ice cream shop
Oh,
down that road here.
yeah. Maybe your granddaughter wants to get some.
Oh, I'm going there.
Especially when it's the homemade kind.
The owner called me a couple weeks ago. Needed a water heater.
That seems like that's going in pretty easy, Brian.
Yeah,
But
Okay, sorry. I
oh.
But
What
he
does
said
that
he
mean?
wanted
Bottoms
Needed a
out.
new water
Like
heater.
there's
what, right now?
stone there.
He wanted it for my
stone?
nine,
Yeah, the bedrock.
Oh.
my 2,500 on power plant.
That's where this one
Actually,
they chiseled a hole
Last
in
couple
this.
weeks.
Okay. So that's how we knew there was
Everything's
a
gone.
privy or a hole all the way there because
Everything.
they had chiseled
Just
through
right,
the
right,
bedrock.
right.
Here we're hitting the bedrock.
I went from 180 to 225
Hey,
in the last 2 weeks.
don't yell, I'm trying to make money. I got the steel market corner.
Wow. You sure do get it through there with ease, though.
Yeah.
I just wish there was something there instead of just
Should we get a
feeling.
favor?
You betcha. What can I do?
Give me the nippers.
Yes, sir. Yeah. The big nippers or little nippers? These ones? Good enough?
You got something over there?
I don't know, I'm just going diagonally under the tent.
Ah, nice root. Got to get that root out of the way. Ah, big, thick root. Pitchfork there to break up the soil a bit. Loosen it up. That.
It's
Or what did it used to be?
probably for oil lamp.
Oh, an oil lamp.
Give me the other,
Small one?
the non-safety ones. The safety ones are junk.
This here?
No, the non-safety one.
Oh,
Oh, that's non-safety.
this?
That's safety. Because someone didn't know how to run it first time, they cut their finger off or something.
Yeah.
They gotta make it so you can't use the equipment.
Yeah. Okay, Joe.
Always entertainment on a Saturday with these guys. When you're finding stuff and even when you're not. But Brian's about to find a second hole.
I had a strange poke over right where you were at. That's where I had a strange poke.
While these guys determine if there was a ploosh permeating from the plunge of the probe. Please note the grass squares to the left of Mark there. Those grass squares and how neatly they are cut when they took them from the ground, so that when they go back to cover the hole, they'll be able to cover it perfectly like they were never ever even there.
Not really, but as you go to the garage,
There's more.
so I'll go get the other tarp.
Okay. Those nice pristine grass cuttings from the sod on the top. Like about 12 inches by 18-inch square rectangle.
Got a dinosaur bone too.
Same exact spot, so it's easy to put them back. Dinosaur bone.
Yep, there's dinosaur bones.
Oh, really? From the pottery place?
No, this is dinosaur. There's a dinosaur bone right there.
Oh, wow. So not the kind that were on the Red Wing pottery
No.
to hold it in place in the kiln. That looks like a nice iliac pelvic
Brontosaurus
bone.
rex.
Bones. Bonesy bone. Bonesy, bonesy bone. And just some shards. Little maker's mark here. Something McLaughlin. Dinosaur bone is also a nickname term for an extra piece of clay that was attached to the Red Wing pottery to take it in and out of the kiln. Something on the milk here, but... And while I try to determine if I can read what's on this milk, Brian has gone to get his other tarp, which is always a good sign, because if he's setting up another tarp, it means the area he probed has been determined to be dig worthy. It just says 1 quart.
I bet you try filling that up to see if it has the capacity 1 quart. You keep filling it for a long time, you never get full.
That's what you call a glass not full. We're not to the bottom yet. I haven't taken a break from filming in a while, and if you know me, I have to admit I still get very excited over a lot of different shards, and so I need to look through the pile a little more closely. I can handle that. Oh my word, even the ringtone on his phone is hilarious.
I'm digging pits, what's up? That's what happens.
Well, now we've got Brian going on a second hole. Same property here. Second hole, same depth back. But oh, look at this! It's a shard, but somebody's definitely home. Look at that.
Elephant ear.
Elephant ear. Number 4 with the leaf. Is that Red Wing?
Yep.
Oh, that's a beautiful shard.
Basically
Beautiful shard.
1897, 98
Okay.
to 1905.
Paul
Okay.
Stanley lived here.
Elephant ear.
Paul Stanley lived here, right there. Part of the Kiss outfit.
You're not kidding with a heel. That is a chunky heel. Tend to find pieces of shoe leather in holes because that doesn't disintegrate the leather. And the heels will stay there. I wonder if this is part of that same crock. Now I want to see if I can put the pieces together.
Nobody home?
At least I took the top off that.
Oh,
Oh, huh?
Yeah.
knock the top off. And it's a slick. Nobody home. But it's another sign that something's there, living in there. Oh, is this a full one? It's like a ball jar, but instead of ball, it's a dreary? Dry, Sister Lady.
How do you say that?
Dry. D-R-E-Y. It's a nice little squat thing. You could put marbles in it, except half the container's missing on the back side, but it is a mason. Oh, whiskey flask.
No, it's not.
No, it's not whiskey flask. What is
It's a
it?
rash developer.
Mark is convinced that any bottle pre-1920 is going to give him a rash. I still think it's fun to see. This one just came out of Brian's hole a little bit ago. And Mark got this one. Look at original cork from Chicagoya. And it's Foley and Company, but original cork. Yeah, we're getting some whole ones in here. This is a shard, but it's a beautiful shard.
That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of modern stuff, but at least it's stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Modern, probably from when they took out the outhouse.
That was the voice of the homeowner you
here
just
we
heard
go.
there.
That's got something in it too. Look at the color. Or is that, did they put paint in there? Or? Oh, look at that.
It's lead.
Is that lead paint? What the bleep, huh? November 30th, patent from 1858. And some lead paint. Although you are seeing the collection of whole bottles begin to get larger on top of the table where we're collecting them, I also want you to get an idea here of how much time, effort, energy, and work really truly goes in to a Privy dig. It's not just bottle after bottle after bottle immediately. Sometimes, I mean, it takes a while to get to the bottom.
Ugly stuff.
But, you know.
Meanwhile, Mark and
Somebody
Brian
was home.
continue to keep their eyes on the prize. They are focused in finding the local pharmacists, the local druggists.
No blue and white flow. But that's all right. Still entertaining.
Side note, blue and white flow is my absolute favorite type of shard to find.
Take a
Whole
little break, come
shard
back
doesn't
to
matter.
you with an
Blue and
update.
white flow is gorgeous,
Get a little further
amazing,
down,
and
see if
beautiful in my
anything else
opinion.
shows up.
And you can even use the shards
Here,
to
Brian
make
pulled
mosaic
something.
pattern.
I think it's a little vase line. Vaseline. Vase line. Cheeseboro. New York. Screw top, but still embossed with words.
Tell me that probe, will you please?
Yes, sir. Probe on its way. Where is it? Oh, right here, sticking in the ground in front of me.
Now the probe is obviously a necessity for locating the hole to begin
he's
with.
several feet
But once
down.
the hole is found, the
Probe
probe
down,
can still be
see what-
useful.
If you can feel any glass down there. Some crunch, crunch, crunch. Any crunch, crunch, crunch? Ah, an ink. It looks like an ink. Sanford's, maybe? Or Sanford's. Looky, looky, who's got the cookie? A Sanford's ink. Nice large size. Could go right on the writer's desk.
By the way, the Sanford Ink Company was founded in 1857 by William Sanford Jr. in Massachusetts, but they moved the company to Chicago in 1866 where it remained.
Sanford's ink. Dipped your pen in there. Yeah. My grandpa used to have some of those on his desk.
And it was also the Sanford Ink Company that in 1964 invented the Sharpie
It's a
marker.
little baby. Is that aspirin?
I still get robbed.
Oh. Is it blank?
Nobody home.
Oh.
Mechanical DX, what it is.
Oh, you
got a
hit
few
the
little
bottle layer,
things.
huh? Pull
Something.
this out of there?
I don't think so.
Ruth,
John.
pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you face to face now instead of just a voice on the phone. You went and got some hydration for yourself? Did your wife go to get ice cream?
Yeah, and then we came back and we seen a sign for a rummage sale.
Mm.
And I have some money, so you can take it all.
Yeah. Maybe there's some goodies. You never know what you're going to find at a rummage sale.
Jewel Tea Company, Chicago. Joe's from Chicago.
You can hear our Minnesota accents
Like that.
shining through here.
You'll have to tell us in the comments where you're from. Do you say rummage sale or garage sale or yard sale or just sale?
Whatever that was. Something like Castoria, maybe? Fletcher's Castoria, but...
Oh, here's one right here. There you go.
Well, the party continues on. This hole is already filled back in, mostly. We just have the edges to finish up and then the top to top off, but we pulled a few bottles out of there, so we might need a little bit of filler, but we'll probably steal some from this hole over here, and then we got other stuff we can use. Brian's working hard on this next hole, and a few things are coming out. Ooh.
Drum roll, please, folks. This is the moment you've been waiting for.
This is what Mike and Brian make the trick. Something like that.
She didn't use it.
Now, nobody home on this slick, but there is an original cork, which is beautiful.
Look how the collection on the table is growing, folks. This is leading up to our pick
Vinyl?
at the
Like a
end.
record?
Had to be an old one.
It is. It's an old vinyl bottle. It's some St. Paul product. Vino. You know what I'm talking about now?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah, most of those I've seen are.
I've seen that
Here's the other.
woman who says she got a lot of nice bottles out of St. Paul.
Homemade. Thelma homemade.
Now, the pick at the end can work all kinds of different ways, depending on the situation, the location, the permission. But the one we're going to end up doing today will need to,
Oh, good.
of
My
course,
little rake came in
obviously
handy.
incorporate the homeowner who has given us the permission,
Good.
and he's interested. And so he's going to keep a few, and we'll let the homeowner pick first.
I'm gonna take a little bit. I'm gonna go see if Steve got.
I gotta go get another water bottle. I drank mine already.
You got no water, John?
Hey, Mark, what have you got?
Fred Scott.
Oh, wow. Fifth one for the day. Look at that. Scott Pharmacist, Stillwater, Minnesota. So I'll put those together. What's cool is those are all from Scott Drug Company, but look at the variants. They've got 4 of them have the same script. One of them is straight up and down. But look at the sizes. See, they're all different. Not a single one is the same size. All different. Number 5. And look at that, the variants. They're all just tiny bit different.
Yep.
And we've got
He must have been in business quite a while, huh?
And now it's time for an historical minute with Sister Lady.
There were many druggists and pharmacists in Stillwater, Minnesota in the late 1800s, but none of them stood out in history the way that Fred Scott did. He was born in 1852 in Sweden and came over to Minnesota from Sweden, like many Minnesotans did. A lot of the immigrants in the Minnesota area were from Sweden or Norway. My husband's family was from Sweden on his mom's side, and his dad's side was Norwegian. I was not, but I came from an area south of the border, but it's very common for Minnesotans to be from Norway or Sweden originally, and that was the case with this pharmacist, Fred Scott. But he had a very interesting life. The first person that he took on as a partner in the drugstore business, Mr. Upsall, he actually drowned in the St. Croix River. So then Mr. Scott was the sole owner of the drugstore. He married a wife, and his wife's name was Lake Mill. Is that a Minnesota name or what? Lake and Mill, like the city by the mill that powered the water. Oh my gosh. He also purchased a drugstore in Duluth for a while, and that he became quite prosperous. But he died young. He didn't even make it to 50. He died at the age of 47. And the newspaper said October 6th, 1899, Fred Scott died at his home on South 2nd Street in Stillwater. The messenger noted he was, and I love the way they used to write back in the day, or I find it interesting, the way they used to write back in the day. Instead of just saying that a person had a kind heart or that a person felt emotions deeply and may have struggled with, I don't know if they'd say struggled in an obituary, but was very deeply affected by certain things. But this is how they phrased it back then. He was a nature keenly alive to sympathy and keenly susceptible to the most refined and kindly impulses known to the human heart. Isn't that a beautiful way to describe someone? But it said the miseries of the world grated sharply on his finely strung organization and made him resentful of trusts and monopolies which he felt were grinding the heart out of lesser industries and making the rich man richer and the poor man poorer. His close application to business was also largely responsible for his early decline. He was a reticent man by nature, forming few intimate friendships, but gently courteous to all. Scott's wife, Lake, continued to manage the drugstore for a few years, eventually selling out to T.C. Stocking. Later married James Tier in 1906 and passed away in 1916. So it's interesting. You wonder, Fred Scott actually died at the age of 47. They talk about his struggle here, keenly alive to sympathy and keenly susceptible to the most refined impulses known to the human heart. And it makes me wonder, how sad that, he very, very, very well may have died by suicide. And it's just now in this era and time and place, and that's a whole different topic of conversation. But I work as a school counselor also, as an on-call counselor during the school year, and I just think that it's only up until very, very recently that people are even beginning to come out about speaking openly about struggles with depression and about death by suicide. And it's so important that it be brought out into the open and talked about. And so just by reading this obituary, obviously I don't know what happened to Mr. Scott. I didn't know his family, but he died at a young age, and it sounded like he had a lot going on in his mind and a lot of thoughts. Goes like we all have. So anyway, Mr. Scott, thank you for your contributions to Minnesota and Stillwater, Minnesota, and for the hard work you did to contribute to history here.
Now that you've learned a little bit about the history of Mr. Scott, let's see what's going on back at the dig site.
Yep. 80.
Bummer. Pinkertons with a hole.
That's probably a shovel or a probe.
A shovel or a probe?
Oh.
Oh, whoops, it's a clean break, not an old break. I see. Oh, well, shoot. Those are fairly common though, right?
Yeah.
Pinkertons. But still. Bummer. Bummer. You gotta
Not
have
very deep, really, actually, is it?
No.
one crier in the bunch, huh?
No.
I gotta replace your salt. Your the sodium, calcium, potassium that you lose when you're sweating.
This is light salt.
Light salt.
Got more potassium.
There we go. Potassium's good for us.
How's your
Ooh,
constitutional humors doing?
You gotta go
How's your constitution doing?
we the people.
How about your acute system?
there. Whatever that is.
Constitutional humors. Of curing constitutional humors.
I
Oh,
think it has something to do
the
with
Constitution.
Think of something to do with your factory.
Like your daily Constitution to keep you regular.
Yeah, you help your factory out.
The factory.
your...
The male factory, female factory, or both?
Everyone's got the same factory in that department.
Okay, so we're not talking about the Lysol cleaning.
No.
Boston, Massachusetts. Potter Drug.
Yep.
Okay.
There we go.
There we
Bell
go.
blast. Boy.
Hold that up.
Yeah. Stillwater, by the way, Mark.
Yeah, I know. You're supposed to. It's supposed to say right ankle.
Oh, I didn't see this one. The swamp root.
Why don't you, Brian?
Yeah, I might as well.
Can I grab a key? Yeah.
They're in my cooler.
Perfect.
Well, just kind of updating here a little bit. The second hole definitely had the more valuable bottles. All of the pharmacy embossed druggists have come out of that one. Now we've got several of the, that's pharmacy in Stillwater, and this one is J.H. Sandberg. 501 Central Avenue, Minneapolis.
So we're trying to find some outside, like little type toys.
Thank you so much, friends, for joining us here today with this first dig of the 2021 season. Look forward to seeing you in future videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe.